DGS, I'm Monica Hassan, and welcome to your April newscast. We'll take a look at one of our executives who lives on a farm with the most adorable animals, a spotlight on an employee who wrote a play, a big announcement about our new employee engagement program, and so much more. You're more than a viewer, but part of the show. So remember to click on the Office of Public Affairs inbox on our Hello DGS SharePoint page to submit a request to be featured on one of the shows or to send story ideas. Made with you, bringing employees together. Your newscast starts now.
Hello everyone, I'm Ana Lasso, your director. I know the last 2 years have been challenging with COVID-19, but as we move forward in coexistence with the virus, I want to share some updated guidance. In February, Governor Gavin Newsom announced the next phase of California's COVID-19 response with the SMARTER plan, which uses lessons from previous years to prepare for future surges or variants. SMARTER stands for SHOTS. Vaccines are the most powerful weapon against hospitalization and serious illness. Masks. Properly worn masks help slow the spread of COVID-19. The California Department of Public Health also strongly recommends that all individuals wear a mask indoors, regardless of vaccination status. Awareness. We will continue to stay aware of how COVID-19 is spreading. Readiness. COVID-19 is not going away, so we need to be ready with the tools, resources, and supplies to quickly respond and keep public health and the healthcare system well prepared. Testing. Testing will help California minimize the spread of COVID-19. Education. California will continue to work to keep schools open and children safely in classrooms for in-person instruction. And R. As an RX, prescriptions, evolving and improving treatments will become increasingly available and critical as a tool to save lives. DGS strives to be a hybrid workplace, model of excellence by leveraging lessons learned from the challenges and successes experienced since emergency telework was implemented in 2020. DGS has tracked telework data through an award-winning dashboard that showed not only that employees save without a commute, but we also saw a reduction in carbon emissions due to fewer vehicles on the road. The ability to measure the impact of telework on the environment provided the state with valuable information on how telework can support environmental policy and climate change goals. The telework policy is under review. Guidelines are being developed to assist in the transition to a permanent, sustainable hybrid work model. See the telework SharePoint page for eligibility information. I would love to hear your feedback about how to make telework and hybrid work a success. Please send your thoughts to the Office of Public Affairs inbox. As we continue to move forward with the SMARTER plan, we can also support small businesses that were hit hard by the pandemic, while also reducing emissions by purchasing food from businesses that support local farmers. In doing so, you are indirectly reducing food waste by minimizing transportation in the food system. Remember to support local businesses that reduce reuse and recycle. Enjoy the show.
Being a country boy and the Chief Administrative Law Judge of the Office of Administrative Hearings seems like a contradiction, but it's really not. You know, I have passion for a lot of things, outdoors, the country life, but I also have a passion for ensuring that the government and the parties get a fair shake in hearings. So as I was a lawyer and a litigator, I never lost my roots. I always enjoyed the outdoors, hunting and fishing, and having the opportunity to raise my family on a small piece of property in the country. I couldn't pass that up. When I grew up, I thought I wanted to work outdoors. I love the outdoors, I love being outside, I love animals, I love the weather, I love hunting, I love fishing. But what I do now has nothing to do with that. You can get a lot done for society, for yourself and for your family if you know the law and you know the processes that everybody has to go through in order to take advantage of the law and use it to help people, to improve people's lives, and kind of get things done in this world. I think my career in public service really shaped me in terms of empathy, kind of putting myself in other people's positions, I went from being a litigator to just being a zealous advocate for one position, but here at the Office of Administrative Hearings, I get to see all sides of it. You know, respondents that appear to defend their license, whether it's a medical license or a contractor's license, that's their livelihood at issue. So as you get to this side of the bench, you really can empathize with people's struggles and their interactions with government agencies. My goal was never to become a judge, actually. I enjoyed the litigation aspects of practicing law. I spent 10 years at the Department of Justice as a litigator, and it really opened my eyes to the fact that I love making arguments in open court, and I love trying to convince people that my interpretation of the law and the facts was correct. My most notable case has to be when I was representing Governor Schwarzenegger for the United States Supreme Court. He had signed a bill that banned the sale of ultra-violent video games to children, and not surprisingly, the video game industry sued immediately. I was able to argue that case all the way from the District Court through the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. When the pandemic hit and we weren't able to have in-person hearings, we had to quickly pivot to virtual hearings. Fortunately, we had the support of DGS and the administration behind us. We were able to procure the hardware and the software necessary to open up that digital divide so all participants could come into our hearings in a virtual manner. Hearing 15,000 cases a year, it was of critical importance to the state that we kept our operations up and running. It's really all because of the hard work and dedication of our staff and administrative law judges that we were able to pivot so quickly to virtual hearings. Everybody rallied and made sure we had the hardware, software, and the training necessary to get this done to keep serving the people of the state of California. Hi, boys. All right. I know. So here at the Morzini Funny Farm, we have 8 Nigerian pygmy goats, 2 feral cats, an adopted third cat, a wire-haired pointing griffon, and a recently adopted poodle mix lapdog. A typical weekend, you're going to see me probably in some form of camouflage if it's a hunting season, or with a fishing pole in my hand if it's fishing season. If it's honeydew time, then it's going to be work boots and a garden rake. My role at DGS is similar to the other deputy directors, but it's unique because I'm actually the director of OAH. But I get to participate in all the executive level meetings. I get to keep my finger on the pulse of all things DGS, and it's really opened my eyes to the breadth and depth of the influence the Department of General Services has on the state of California. It's very fascinating.
I am a member of DEINA.
DEI&A stands for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Access. At DGS, we are committed to fostering an inclusive workplace culture that embraces and supports our diverse workforce, contractors, customers, and the community we serve. We strive to recruit, train, engage, and retain a diverse pool of talent that will contribute to DGS's mission and vision.
My name is Annette Harrison, and I'm a member of DEINA because I want to promote a positive and supportive work environment for the employees of Department of General Services.
My name is Tim Bullivant. I'm a member of the DEINA work group because I want myself and others to show up and be our authentic self and eliminate any barriers.
My name is Danetta Jackson, and I am a member of DEINA. It is important for the health, productivity, and success of an organization from a business and human perspective.
My name is Juan Vasquez, and I am a member of DEINA because I believe in providing equity and access for everyone who is not at the table.
If you would like to make an impact, head over to the DEINA SharePoint page and email the team to get involved.
The Department of General Services is the business manager for the state of California, and among all state agencies, DGS delivers the broadest range of customer services. The government code requires DGS to recover the costs of providing these services, and we do so by setting and adjusting over 200 rates, working closely with DGS programs to recover the costs of the amazing services that you all provide. This process kicks off in January, and currently throughout the spring process, concurrently with the legislative budget process, we're finalizing our rates proposals, working with the director and our programs, and we'll be presenting our rates proposals to the Department of Finance for approval by August 1st. This will then get published in our price book, which you can find on our DGS website.
So for AMB's recommendation, do you think we need to increase the surcharge? I think we're going to need to go up 0.25%, about 1/4% to get to where we need to be for cost recovery.
Got it. Okay, thank you. We're finalizing our spring budget change proposals, and you should see those go live around May 15th, which is the constitutional deadline for the May revision of the governor's budget. Our budget change proposals will help us acquire additional expenditure authority and positions for multiple DGS programs to help fund the services that you are all providing. As always, the Office of Fiscal Services Budgets and Planning section is so appreciative of the amazing work that you all do, and we are committed to supporting you.
A stroke sometimes occurs when something blocks blood supply to part of the brain or when a blood vessel in the brain bursts. In both cases, parts of the brain become damaged or die. A stroke can cause lasting brain damage, long-term disability, or even death. Here are some important signs to look for. Sudden trouble seeing in one eye or both eyes. Sudden confusion, trouble speaking or understanding speech. Sudden numbness, weakness of the face, arm, or leg, especially on one side of the body. Sudden trouble walking, dizziness, loss of balance or coordination. And sudden severe headache with no known cause. If you recognize the signs of a stroke, you should dial 911.
My first real job in television was at a company called CalImage in Rancho Cordova, and they were the first post-production house in the Sacramento area. I went from being the guy who swept out the studio to being the head of their creative agency in-house. From there, I could tell that they were starting to lose business, and I got a job with the state and was able to work my way up from the Office of State Publishing. Then I got in the DGS. I was brought to DGS because there was a need to take the classroom learning for CalPCA and put it online. They were constrained by just the room they had. They could only have 36 students, which was not feasible for the hundreds of people that needed to take these classes. So the idea was to create this new e-learning module where I would come in and take those classes and put them online for people throughout the state. While I've been doing projects for e-learning, other departments found out that we were doing it and they've asked me to help them. So I've worked for Outreach, I've worked for CalIProcure, getting the message out for them as well. This play comes from a really interesting place. Some friends of ours had a writing workshop that was about grief, and I had lost both of my parents within a 3-month period. So I went to this writing workshop, and it just came out through some exercises that we were doing. I never started out that this was going to be a play. This was just part of a writing exercise that I did at a workshop once. But then I got involved with a theater group here in town, and they were looking for 1-act plays, and I go, well, this is pretty short. And I offered it up to them, and they said, well, we think we can do something with this. So they got a couple of actors, and they put it up on stage, and it was 2 nights in late February.
I know. It's going to be hard, but you're going to be okay. You're going to do fine.
This was one of the weirdest experiences I've ever been through, because watching actors say my words, and of course actors say them differently than the way I had them in my head, and of course it's always better than what I had in my head. So it's just the most bizarre experience watching this thing come to life. After this, I don't know if I'll ever write another play again, although I do have 2 short films that could be adapted into plays. Maybe now that the pandemic is over, I can actually put 15 people in a room and try to get this accomplished.
We have a big announcement, and we need your help. DGS has a strong foundation generating a positive and inclusive work culture. We have seen the impact that COVID and the onset of remote work have brought to employees, making connections sometimes challenging. Taking what we have learned from the pandemic and building off of the successes from the values team, Connect, DEI&A, and organizational health, we have created a new structure that brings these groups together in one unified voice across the entire department. As we transition, we are launching a department-wide contest to solicit a name and logo for the new structure that will encompass our employee engagement groups. We will be calling on all of you to send us your most creative name ideas and graphics. Please make sure to keep an eye out for an email announcing the opening of the contest.
Hi, I'm Adrian Alsamri, the DGS Values Team Vice Chair and this year's Acting Chair. The Values Awards ceremony is about celebrating our DGS peers who exemplify our core values. This year's awards ceremony is unlike years in the past. As we come out of this pandemic, we will once again be celebrating virtually. A link to the video can be found on the DGS SharePoint homepage. Under Quick Links, just click on the Values Team.
That's it. Thank you for watching, and remember, you're part of the show. So make sure to head over to the Hello DGS SharePoint page to submit a request to be featured on the show or to send story ideas. We'll meet here again soon.